Hey guys, how's it going? Beautiful fall afternoon here in the neighborhood, and I'm back doing some more work on the Dart. And what I'm dealing with today is I've got the gas tank ready to go in it. This is the new gas tank I bought about 6 months ago for that green 74 Valiant, which I drove all summer. And the 74 Valiant went to a new home, and part of the deal was that I got to keep some of the parts that I bought for it and some things I wanted to keep, and so I did. So one of them was the fuel tank that's going to go in this car. But what I wanted to do first before I put this in is I was having a problem with the accuracy of the fuel gauge. This is, like I said, a new tank, and this is a new sending unit. It's brand new. It's in here. I don't know if you can be able to see it or not, but it's living in there now. It's home. So you can barely see it. See it in there? Hello. There's the end of it right there. It's a float. That's my hand, but there it is. So the problem that I was having with it was that you could fill the tank up. This is a 16-gallon tank. Fill the tank up as far as you could get it. I mean, even when you had fuel up in the neck, so slam full. And the fuel gauge in the car would read full. You drive for about 25 miles and the gauge starts dropping down off of full. And I mean, quickly. Like within 50 miles of driving, you're down below half a tank of fuel, according to the gauge. And of course, that's not right. And it just continues to drop at that rate of speed. And then you get down about a quarter tank and it would slow down. The descent would slow down all of a sudden, and the needle wouldn't drop down as fast, but you get down to empty on the gauge and fill it back up, and you may get 7 gallons of gas back in it. So I know when I took this tank out of that Plymouth, it was on empty according to the gauge, and I ran my electric fuel pump, my little manual, not manual, but my portable one I have. I ran it and to get to drain this tank. So I got about 5 or 6 gallons worth of gas out of it. So this sending unit, this new Spectre brand sending unit, Spectre seems to be the only game in town for a sending unit, is not reading correctly. If you know anything about fuel gauges and temperature gauges and other gauges, electrical gauges, usually they just work off of resistance, a variable resistance, and this one's no different. Made little notes here. The resistance on this one is supposed to be 73 ohms approximately when it's empty. Middle ways is supposed to be about 23. Full is supposed to be approximately 10. So somehow or another, well, my suspicion is not that it's not reading the right ohms. It is, but I think it looks to me like it's not linear. Whatever the sending unit's putting out, is not what it should for the amount of gas is in the tank. That's very simple, that problem. How to fix it, I don't know how to fix it yet. So I'm going to pull this sending unit back out here, and I'm going to do some measurements and see what it's actually sending up to the gauge, as the case may be. And I've already measured it with it like it is. It's slam out of gas, and it's reading 78 ohms. So that's not a problem. I mean, that's actually probably right. That's actually a little bit low, but I think what the problem is it's going to read like that. You know, it looks like to me like you swing that sending unit up probably a third of the way up, and it's going to read 70-something ohms, and then all of a sudden it's going to change. So let's get that thing out and look at it and see what the heck's going on.